If you've recently implemented SAP Business One, you might have heard consultants talking about master data. And or if you have interacted with our support department and we've told you, be careful, that is master data. And you might be wondering, what is master data anyway? Master data is all the data that is mission critical to the running of your business. It describes people, so customers, employees, suppliers, places, offices, locations, ship to addresses, and things, products, and assets. It's not all the data in your system, but it's probably the most complex and most valuable data in an organization. What's really important is to keep quality master data and updated master data. Master data is shared throughout departments, and it's what actually makes having a system like SAP Business One really efficient, because we don't have to retype every time we are going to work with a specific customer. We've already created the business partner master data card for that customer, and all the information related to that customer is included there so that the system can pull information from there whenever someone creates a delivery or an AR invoice or even an activity or anything else. So really key to keep master data, high quality data. SAP Business One also contains other type of data like transactional data. Let's take the screen that I'm sharing right now, for instance, and this is an AR invoice to one of our customers. And I see here in this screen, I see some chunks of master data which are marked by the golden arrow. So my customer, the contact at my customer, my items, the tax codes, all those are master data, and it means that I have defined these previously. So before bringing them into a document, I have made definitions that work in this document and in any other document. You get the idea. The other type of data that we take a look at here is transactional data. So for instance, the date, the number in this invoice, this can change from document to document, but every time we pull this code, we know that we're going to be pulling this specific item with this unit price and all the information associated with this code in the item master data. What I want to share with you today is a scenario that we've seen often in support, and it shows a user not aware of the difference between master data and transactional data, and inadvertently making changes to master data that have a huge impact in your operations and in your system. Let's take this AR invoice, for example, and if we go to the accounting tab, we see that this customer brings by default this payment term. Payment term, as you see here with the golden arrow, is also master data. Why? Because we define the payment terms that are acceptable for our company. So we need to define which payment terms we want to show, and we want to give our sales reps access to these payment terms. But let's imagine that one of our sales reps who is creating this AR invoice is not aware of how master data works, and they want to change the payment terms for this specific document. So they have made a negotiation and they want to assign a different payment term to this specific invoice. The correct way of doing that, and this is the tip that I want to share with you today, is whenever you see a golden arrow, you need to know that the neighbor field contains master data. So if you want to change the option here, you should never click on the golden arrow. No, you should go to the very other end of the field and click on the drop down arrow. This shows us specifically which payment terms have been defined for our company that we can use. Let's say that we want to use net 10 days for this specific document. If we are a user who is authorized to define a new payment term, we can come here, and after clicking on the drop-down arrow, we can click on Define New. We're going to give this new payment term a name. We're going to call it net 10, and we're going to define what this means in our system. And we add this new option, who is automatically assigned to this document. If you see now, the system has already calculated from the document date, September 5th, a due date of September 15th, because we've assigned net 10 as a payment term. If we go back to cash, the due date changes. So this is the correct way of doing it. Let's now pretend that we are not aware that when we click on the golden arrow, we are truly changing definitions that already exist, and this is what we should try to avoid. But I'm going to show you how this can happen. Let's say that the person who is creating this AR invoice comes here, they see that payment terms is cash basic, but they don't like it. They want to give the customer 10 days. They come here and they change this definition. What happens now is that I have to choose something else and then come back to cash basic. Now, with cash basic, we have the system estimating 10 days because we changed a basic definition in the system that already existed. We changed master data. We've seen this happen, and this is the bad news. This does not only change this document. Any document that has cash basic as payment term and it's open will be changed automatically to this, to 10 days of estimation in the due date. If a user makes a change such as this one, and we don't realize that this change was made for, let's say, until the end of September, and then by the end of September, somebody realizes, oh, but this customer is cash basic. Why are we giving them 10 days? And then we figure out that this is what happened. Please note that you will need to review all the documents that were created since this change occurred. And it's not very easy to know exactly how many they were. We might help you correct those documents, or at least guide you into how to correct them using DTW or manually going in one by one and changing them. But even if you realize this happened, and then you go back, you will go back and you will change your definition for cash basic so that it shows 0. It won't affect those documents that were already created when cash basic meant 10 days. This is critical and very, very important. There are authorizations that allow you to limit the number of fields that users can change, but this can be tricky because sometimes a user is responsible for creating new BP master data, and so they need access to master data. It's just very important. You should always combine authorizations with sharing this knowledge with your users so that they understand that whenever they find a golden arrow, if they want to change the value in here, they should either choose the drop-down menu, the drop-down arrow that shows them what the options are that they can choose for this field, or in the cases where you don't see a drop-down arrow, you can click anywhere in the field and you will see a little bubble. And this also lets you choose other options that are available for this field. So if you want to make a change, always go to the drop-down arrow or the little bubble. If you want to find out information or dig deeper into what this means, then you can click on the golden arrow.